afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Josh Guillory Show. I am your grateful, very, very grateful and honored host. And in studio with me, my main man, Jamie Angel.
Oh, I'm surprised you remembered who I was today.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, bing, bing.
See, even the button was afraid you would forget.
Man, that ain't right.
Well,
Ain't right. Don't listen to him. He's upset.
I mean, yeah.
Hey guys, we're broadcasting live from the KPEL studios. Also broadcasting live from Rumble. I already see you guys over there, man. Thank you so much. You beat me to the punch. But yeah, go to Rumble, like Rumble in the Jungle. Rumble.com. Look up the Josh Guillory Show. You can see us for free. We want you to go watch us. Sign in. Follow us. Chat us. That Rumble chat has been locked and loaded, hot and heavy. What you trying to do over there?
Well, I know there's a certain game that started at 2:00.
Thank you, bud. You
That I gotta
remembered.
find.
Oh, the Shot Cubs are playing. Yep, I think it's 2:20.
I'm gonna put it on so we can
Yeah.
watch the news and the
All right, man. What a great teammate and partner over there. All right, let's dive right in. All right, full disclaimer here. I owe this to you. Those that have blood pressure issues.
Me?
I'm just saying. You might want to go take a pill. We're about to cover something that makes my blood boil, and it might make yours. All right. Consistency should be something that we appreciate. Most of us do appreciate it. Most of us voted for that. We're just not getting it. But like consistent conservative, consistent. I'll take a consistent conservative over these so-called constitutional conservatives. I knew when I first heard that 10 or 15 years ago, my antenna was raised like, what the heck? What is that? Some label. But then I was like, well, I'm a conservative and I like the Constitution, so okay, whatever. If this is constitutional conservative, give me the consistent. Actually, just give me the campaign conservative. I love some campaign conservatives. They're conservative. Okay, guys, if you go to the Hill, you could see a little article by Tara Suter. That's what I'm referencing right now. She's reporting that our Governor Jeff Landry, has asked the Trump administration to deploy up to 1,000 National Guard Louisiana National Guard troops into our state. They're already here. Okay, let's keep going. Okay, Landry's office says the request has gone to the Department of Defense. His press release claimed progress on crime. Okay.
You meant the Department of War, right?
Oh, yeah, Department of War, buddy. Right.
Get it right.
He said he made the request. He said the job is far from finished. Okay, we agree with that. He called the deployment the next step to save lives and protect families. Okay, so again, just go over a few little things. Our governor, he has formally asked Washington. Our constitutional conservative governor asked Washington for relief on duties that fall well within the governor's office. But anyway, so the governor asked for Washington to activate up to 1,000 Louisiana National Guard troops. He said the move builds on federal partnerships that have worked in America's toughest cities. Okay. President Trump has already used the Guard in D.C. We saw that, Los Angeles and Portland. We didn't get a chance to cover that, but boy, Portland during those ICE raids, jeez, and some anti-crime efforts. Now, here is the key. Local officials in those cities pushed back. They knew that was an imminent threat. They chose not to do anything. Then the deployments went forward. Governor Landry, don't worry, also issued a separate release warning to illegal immigrants about the Louisiana lockup facility and promising tougher enforcement. I'm thinking, where the heck did that come from? We're talking about 1,000 National Guard troops, and then boop, it's like a blanket, like a cloak.
I'm just withholding my comments for the time being.
Guys, I see the tone of his skin color changing. Jamie, that is. I see not smoke yet, so I'm gonna keep going. When I start to see the smoke, it's only a moment of time. I can't hold the beast in.
Just saying, keep your volume controls handy because it's about to get loud.
All right, now I want to really dive into this because we have to go past political talking points. So I want to dive into it. So let us all walk through this. Let's all walk through this as conservatives.
Can we hold hands?
Yeah, hold hands, kumbaya.
I would love to hold hands.
Oh yeah, he keeps making a
Sugar Bee.
Sugar Bee. Hey, Sugar Bee. So
hey, my friend.
So we're gonna walk through this through our conservative lens, okay? Because what Governor Landry is doing right here is not conservative. I voted for him. I have voted for him on every ballot that he's been on my ballot. Okay, probably a lot of you folks have done it. All the disclaimers that we have said a gazillion times on this show and elsewhere. But regardless, this is not conservative. I support values and policy. I could care less about, I care about the person, but I could care less about the personality in office because that personality leaves. Now, unless they're in Congress, but that's why they're the do-nothing branch. I'm talking about doers, executive branch.
Doers get more done.
If they're a doer. You see what I'm saying? But this is not conservative. So if we, as conservatives, see something that's not conservative, and you have a platform like this, as painful as it is, yes, we have to call out a fellow Republican who is just not acting like a Republican, man. And I know a lot of folks are listening and watching right now that's sharing this. Our audience outside Louisiana, we're just tired. Like, don't think we just bash our fellow Republicans. We don't take pride in that. I don't, for sure. We're just tired. We're tired. Tired of hearing these campaigns. I read of hearing these constitutional conservatives tell me how constitutional they are and how conservative they are. And then they get in office and they don't act like a Republican. I just want Republicans to act like Republicans when they get in office. Some do. It's not all bad. But man, those are the exception. And I don't think it was always like that. I really don't. I just don't think it was all like that. But what we're seeing here is not conservative policy. It's political theater dressed up in conservative clothing. That's the key takeaway here. So, all right, let's take a tiny little break. When we get back, we're going to finish this talk. Let's talk about what conservatism is, and let's talk about deploying the National Guard to do things that local and state officials should do. All right, guys, stick around. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the Josh Guillory Show. We're broadcasting live from the KPEL studios here in Lafayette, Louisiana. We're also broadcasting live from Rumble, rumble.com. I'm seeing you over there at rumble.com. Let's see, Kill Switch, good afternoon, gentlemen. Good afternoon. Joe Biden's lost memory. Boy, he's active.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't the commander-in-chief of the National Guard, isn't he the national, meaning Jeff Landry? Yes, he is. He's the commander-in-chief. I don't know why we would ask the other commander-in-chief to do what one commander-in-chief would want to do. I just don't understand it.
Billy and Church Point also
If I had
said-
the governor when I was the mayor telling me what to do in my backyard, I'd tell him to go take a hike. Matter of fact, we did do that.
Yeah.
All right.
Billy and Church Point says, let's go, guys. I had the popcorn ready.
That's a coming. All right. So we're going to walk through all this. Our governor has made a request to the Department of War for 1,000 National Guard troops, 1,000 Louisiana. Wait, hold on. The Louisiana governor asked Washington for 1,000 Louisiana National Guardsmen. Like, if I say that out loud, does it sound sillier and sillier? Okay.
It sounds silly, and you look silly saying
All right.
It's goofy, man. It's goofy.
I feel silly saying it. All right, we're going to walk through this as conservatives, though, okay? Conservatism, all right? Conservatism. We need to stay true to our values. Conservatism says government closest to the people governs best. That means a governor uses the powers already in his hands before he just simply runs to Washington. And Governor Landry already has more than enough tools. Check this out. Louisiana has 11,500 members of the National Guard already at his disposal. That's more than 1,000. But he's asking for 1,000 of his own people. Well, there's 11,500 of them right there. Army National Guard, Air National Guard, right there. On top of that, the Louisiana State Police field is roughly 925 troopers. That's a decent amount. Nearly 200 wildlife and fishery agencies or agents. They all carry badges and guns. I get a different mission. Well, I'm just telling you, you can bureaucrat it up all you want. It's taxpayers paying for people with badges and guns that have arrest authorities within a scope that government says.
They can be commissioned.
They are commissioned. They have arrest power. You see what I'm saying? And across our state, can't even make this up. Did I read this right? There are over 600 different, across the state, 600 different law enforcement
PDs,
marshals. So 600 different law enforcement agencies within the state, between 15,000 to 20,000 sworn law enforcement officers, civilian law enforcement to fight civilian crimes. But we want to ask for 1,000 of our own. Okay, anyway. I mean, like you said, sheriffs, city police, university police. I mean, we can keep going on. Probation, parole.
Park police.
Even alcohol and tobacco control agents. Park police.
Rangers.
The Boy Scouts are, well, anyway.
Park rangers.
All of that is already under his authority as governor, not the sheriffs and things like that. But I told you the state resources. All of that is sitting right here in Louisiana. So why is the governor begging the president to do his job for him? See, here's why all this matters. And conservatives, we understand. Please, if we get anything from me, we gotta remember this. Understand that once you hand power to the federal government, we just never get it back. We just don't. It may look good now, but that changes over time. Every time you invite Washington to come fix something, you should fix yourself, state, local governments. Every time you do that, though, you grow the precedent that Washington, not Baton Rouge, not Lafayette, not Lake Charles, Washington runs Louisiana. That is the exact opposite of conservatism. So I'll give you a picture. Imagine a future Democrat president and a Democrat governor of Louisiana. Could that be possible? Well, it certainly was. 8 years of it. Well, 4 years of that combo one may argue we have continued those policies to a degree. Just saying one would argue. Now, Democrat president, Democrat governor. I want you to imagine that. Now, imagine they use this exact precedent that Landry and Washington, well, it's really on Landry, is setting right now for the nation. Imagine they use this exact precedent to fight crime by sending the Guard to enforce mask mandates. You think that's you think that's far-fetched? Or to shut down churches in the name of public safety? Yeah. Oh, we love that. We love some Washington. Hey, Washington, I got a problem. There's this thing called COVID-26, and it's really blah, 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 blah. Control, power, 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 power. Oh, but guess what? We can rely on good old Louisiana. Good old Louisiana to screw it up for the nation. Hey, don't worry about it, Mr. President. We got this dumb, you know what? Oh, I shouldn't say that. We got this silly acting Republican governor that has invited the federal government to come do his job. Let's just do that. But we're going to shut down churches now because it's not safe. And good, the federal government's big daddy, big brother.
Oh, no. Not Big Daddy.
Sugar B.
Oh, no. What are we going to do, Josh? What are we going to do?
You see?
Help.
He just comes out. He just comes out when these people act like this.
So, help me process.
Can
please,
I?
My dear friend.
I'm so, if I help you, I'm amazing myself. Let's try that.
Republican supermajority in the legislature.
Yeah, that's in Louisiana. We got super Republican.
Mm-hmm. We got a Republican governor.
Yeah, it's a Republican with an R.
2 Republican senators.
That's true.
4 Republican Congress people.
Should be 5-4, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yet this hardcore Republican state gave away a congressional seat.
Yes. Voluntarily. Without even, yeah.
And then also lumped ourselves in with the slate of states who can't control themselves or their crime rates. We just voluntarily put ourselves in that basket.
We want to be part of Oregon. We want to be associated with Oregon. We want to be associated. What's the other one? San Francisco?
Seattle.
Like Mr. Governor, you want us to be, that's who you say we are?
Austin.
Like that's who you say we are? I know we're conditioned for failure and all, but that's who you think we are. Like that's ridiculous. That was a good way to look at it. But look, going back to our conservative lens, I want to walk through this. We appreciate us students of history. I'm very much an amateur, of course. But us that appreciate our country, and a lot of people do, we have to go back and realize what has got us to where we are, or at least in the position to salvage what we once were. So all of this is why our founders warned about concentrated power. Please stick with me. I know this is not the most sexy topic in the world, okay?
Oh, it's sexy.
This is why the Constitution sets limits, though. States are supposed to handle their own domestic issues unless there's an imminent, extraordinary crisis, something a state truly, they just can't handle on their own. They need help right then and there. There's no other, and I'm going to say there's no less restrictive ways. What do I mean by that? The federal government, get them out. But that's not what we're talking about here. That's not the scenario in Louisiana right now. Landry isn't responding to a hurricane or a foreign invasion, although you can argue with the illegal immigration. He's playing politics. He's trying to look tough on crime by asking Trump for backup he doesn't actually need. At some point, you gotta wipe your nose. And listen, I don't blame President Trump. I really don't. Trump is a problem solver. You have to understand who you're dealing with. He sees mayhem, and his instinct is to fix it with the tools at his disposal. Anybody disagree? Like it's not necessarily a philosophy discussion with him. He's just pragmatic. But the responsibility starts at the state level. When did conservatives forget this? When did elected Republicans who have always been conservative forget this very basic tenet of Americanism, this basic tenet of the basic structure of American government? You same Republicans want to get on your high horse and make sure our students pass American civics, which I support. Maybe we should give a civics exam before we elect our officials. Because if you would take that same civics exam you were on your high horse about, maybe you would understand that basic tenet. Jeez. But Trump, you can't get mad at Trump. Trump sees problem, fix problem. Sees problem, fix problem. All right, guys. Hey, we're going to keep on this topic.
Phone lines are going to be open,
you
too.
dang right. 232-1540, 2-844-766-667. Kill switch. Welcome back to the Josh Guillory Show. We're broadcasting live from the KPEL studios here in Lafayette, Louisiana. We're also hot and heavy over there on Rumble. I see you guys. Thank you so much. Rumble.com. Go check us out. You can see us. You can even put us on your smart TV. There's so many apps to do that. Roku. You can find us on Roku. You can look at us on YouTube. You got the YouTube channel. Go check us out. But our home station over there is Rumble. Appreciate Dan Bongino leading the way over there, letting folks like me and you, buddy, come on here. Candace Owens, a whole bunch of folks on Rumble. We're just
girl Candace.
Man, I'm liking her, man. I like
Love
her.
it.
I like her a lot.
You want to do the phones?
You dang right. So we're talking about Governor Jeff Landry asking for the president to send 1,000 of his own National Guard troops. Only Republican governor that I know is doing that. Said differently, we have a Republican governor asking Washington to come do a function of that Republican governor's job. I'll let you, if I would say that ordinarily, you would think that's a Democrat. Like if I wouldn't say Jeff Landry, you'd say that's a Democrat doing that. A Democrat, I mean, we saw John Bel Edwards do that for 8 years. Ask the federal government to come in from Medicaid expansion to you name it, to these grants that all have strings attached to it. All these things, okay? We've seen that. So if I just told us a fact, a governor asked the president, asked Washington to come in and do their own job in their state, I would say that's a Democrat. But it's not. All right, let's see here. JP, talk some sense to us, man. Talk some sense
Guys,
to us.
let's get realistic about what's really going on and stop beating around the bush.
Tell us.
It's one of two things. There's probably money involved if Donald Trump makes the call because there's federal assistance dollars attached to it because he's making the call and not Jeff Landry. Somebody else foots the bill. Welcome to Louisiana. Or we all know that Emperor Nero or little Napoleon there in Baton Rouge with his authoritarian complex, this guy knows that we have plenty meat and manpower in Louisiana to solve our crime problem. We're talking about a man that probably uses the state police to shoot mosquitoes in his backyard while he barbecues, just so he can show them that shortness and little man syndrome doesn't mean anything. What's really happened here is that Jeff realizes he's down in the polls. People are upset with him. And just like Bill Cassidy, he's going to have to brown his nose up to say, oh, Daddy Trump, I let you come in when you wanted to get popular with the National Guard. Please endorse me because I'm about to be voted out of office. That's what this is about. It's about brown nosing up to the president. Come on.
JP.
15 guys from Vermilion Parish. Hey, 15 guys from Vermilion Parish and 2 kegs of beer could take care of the problem in Louisiana. We don't need the National Guard. But no, we need to brown nose the president for an endorsement.
Hey, JP, appreciate you, brother. Thank you so much. Yes, it would, I guess, a talking point. So JP makes 2 points there, money and then basically kissing butt and making a political theater out of it. It's the second one for sure. The first one, though, one, if that's the case, say it. Second, okay, let's go back to our conservative roots here, our conservative, constitutional conservative.
But he
Hold
doesn't
on.
have conservative roots.
Yeah, well, the roots seem to be there. Constitutional conservative, though, then why would you want the military to perform civilian law enforcement office operations? Why? Why? That's not even an American value. That's not even an American value. And this is not what Trump's doing. This is coming from one direction, and it's just to kiss some butt and get some political favor. I hadn't thought about the endorsement because I figured he already has the endorsement, I would imagine. But I hadn't thought about it because it's not guaranteed. Mm-hmm. Trump doesn't have to do it. He doesn't have anything to gain or lose. He's not running for re-election. It's someone else's issue after this. And that's okay. He just stays out. Not that he doesn't like the guy. But JP makes a good point. JP makes a good point on that second one. He's losing so much cred with conservatives. I keep saying he's going to get reelected with 60% because of the Democrat vote, but I could be wrong. I
don't think even the president could help him.
I don't know, but to JP's point, mm-hmm. That second point, that's like I'm just trying to rationalize it because it doesn't make sense policy-wise. It doesn't make sense. I rattled off how many law enforcement officers you got in this state that's underneath your command?
It's 607.
Hey, and guess what? If you really need the 1,000, make it happen. Temporarily, figure it out.
You did it for the Super Bowl. I mean, just saying.
And it's just mind-boggling. All right, let's go to the phone lines. Let's see here. Who are we going
to? Philip asked if Trump sends the National Guard, who pays? Is that a difference? And then the Desio tied in. Perhaps he's asking President to activate the Guard so that funding will come from the
All right,
Fed's budget.
listen, guys, it doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Yes, okay, yes. Assume it will. That's Title 10. When the governor does it, it's Title 32. Whatever. This is a drop in the bucket. If anyone tries to sell you those bill of goods, they're selling you nonsense. Okay. Yes, it's a lot of money to activate it. Another reason not to do it. Conservative. But anyway, if you're gonna do it, and that's your choice, Governor, do it.
But we don't need it.
I mean, you have how many? I rattled off how many law enforcement officers? I mean, I'm gonna pull that back up. Let's go to the phone line.
15 to 20,000.
You got 15 to 20,000 law enforcement officers in the state. How many more badges and guns do we need to give? Because we support law and order, but what we don't support is giving up our conservative values so that only to have a Democrat come in the next time to use our own stupidity and our weakness and our lack of discipline just to get a short-term personal gain. You know, that
breathe, man,
really,
breathe.
That's
breathe.
what we're going to do. We're going to do all this. For that, we should have just had John Bel Edwards as the governor. All right. Caller, you're live on the Josh Gill Show. So sorry for my rant. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, Sean in Lafayette.
What up, Sean? Jamie's going to remember that number one day. Poor Jamie.
Yeah, well, this is my work phone because my other one's crapped out. They're trying to get me to buy another one. You know how that works. So I got an old one.
Juke you out.
So anyway, I'm not a fan of Jeff Landry, but after listening to JP, I think I'm invited to the birthday party next time. I mean, he went off on it, man. I like that. So anyway, my point being, and I agree wholeheartedly with y'all. Look what happened in Minnesota when they put in the National Guard. They were shooting rubber bullets at people on their front doorsteps for them to go back in their house during COVID. That would have not worked with me. They would be short a few guys. So anyway, but my point being that Cantrell's under indictment. You know that New Orleans basically picks the governor. I think we weaseled one out this time, but come to find out, I think, the weasel is in the office now. But, if you have a mayor who's under indictment, who does take care of that? Is Landry going to take over that position and do something about it? We know Cantrell's not going to do anything about it. So I guess Ben Franklin said it best. If you're going to give up freedom for security, you deserve neither nor.
That's right.
But I'm going to tell you what, I don't go to New Orleans. I don't go. And the people that live there feel bad for them. You know what I'm saying? So I know.
I do too. And we just got to move on to another call. But look, I do too. Sean, great points. Look, man, bottom line, this is all political theater. This has nothing to do with fighting the crime. Even the governor says crime is going down. Well, if crime is going down, why the heck do you need 1,000 National Guard troopers? Come on, troops. Why do you need that?
He's performing. He's showboating, and it's embarrassing.
Exactly. But here's my point to Sean's thoughts. Do something. You're the leader. Like if fighting crime's a priority, then fighting crime's gonna be a thing. If making our roads are a priority, then we're gonna have better roads. If education's a priority, then we're gonna have better education. But no, we want to keep growing government. And now we want to give up like power from the states to the federal government. Like this ain't Portland Playboy. Like, come on. All right.
If he wanted to make a play for it, he should have done it New Year's when we had a terror attack in New Orleans. That might have been a good time to rattle some cages about something.
Absolutely.
But now when nothing's happening?
Or wait till January 20th when Trump was sworn in. Hey, we had this thing go on and the Super Bowl's coming. You know what I mean? If you're going to do that,
I guess.
Let's go.
All right.
Let's do it. Kevin from the motherland. What's up, Kevin?
Hey, political theater could be the right word, but I don't think the movie is going to end up the way the governor thinks it is. We have a Republican governor with a Republican legislature, and now he's sending the message to the United States, hey, President Trump had to help out in all the Democratic-led states because they couldn't run their own show. Well, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to ask for help. So he can get ready to hear what the Democrats are going to say about him standing up and asking for it when he really doesn't need it.
Thank you, Kevin. I most certainly appreciate that. So, Jamie, you and Kevin both point out that I hadn't thought about it like that. What is that? Like, we're lumping ourselves voluntarily in these Democrat failed-run states. Not even the Democrat-run states that are doing well. The Democrat states that are doing bad, poorly. You had brought that up earlier. Kevin referenced it just now. I hadn't thought about that, but you're right. Why would a constitutional conservative just voluntarily lump us in with all that? We know why. To get points from?
Wait, I'm going to play devil's advocate.
I don't know whose daddy he is, Lindsey or...
I'm going to play devil's advocate and say that maybe he's doing it to try to set a good example for the Democrat states. Maybe he's doing it because, like, hey, look, I'm a Republican. I say I'm a Republican, but I'm going to do this to show y'all that it's okay. Because if we can do it, y'all can do it.
That's probably how it went. Let's go to Renee. Let's see her. Renee, whoa, Renee, we got to you early. I'm so sorry. Go ahead, Renee. What you got, buddy?
If I was doing it, I'd do it to get more money in the budget, because if the federal government spends theirs, he could have more money for his government. Simple like that. And on top of that, the crime statistics with minority neighborhoods and modern days, especially minorities, they don't call the cops unless it's really bad. There are lots of crimes go unrecorded. And in cities like St. Martinville, where I came from, they sweep it under the rug because everybody's leaving St. Martinville. Why would you report so much crime when you're going to lose your tax base leaving the place like New Orleans? You know, if I live in that dump, I'd hurry up and leave there. Minorities don't all want to leave a crime-ridden place. So all that stuff swept under the rug. You don't really know how really high the crime rate is because it's all lied.
Hey, look, I appreciate it. And if we go, I know we're about to hit into a break, but if you go with the desired outcome, we all agree. We want to fight crime. What I'm saying is we already have the resources and the authority and the power right now to do that. And the way we're asking for that help will open up a door. And behind that door is an extremely, extremely slippery slope that creates precedent. And the precedent is not bringing in the National Guard to fight crime. The precedent is state leaders getting Washington, take the state leaders out. The precedent is Washington doing local functions. And then you can just insert whatever the emergency of the day is, whatever the emergency of the administration is. Is it COVID? Is it locking down? Is it control? Is it the economy? Is it tipping the scales of the economy? Because what Jeff Landry's doing right now is opening that door for all 50 states. Not being dramatic, giving you my thoughts. Phone lines are open. Call, disagree with me. 232-1542. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the Josh Guillory Show, broadcasting live from the KPEL studios here in Acadiana. That's Southwest Louisiana. It's all our folks outside this great state. It is still a great state. It is. You know who else is great? Norm from Poche Bridge and Norm. Your ears must have been burning, my friend. Literally, Jamie and I were talking about you in our office earlier today.
Well, here we are. I'm kind of late to the conversation today. From pretty much what I started hearing, I'm kind of all in what everybody's saying. But let's define the mission.
Yes.
If the mission of the National Guard is to protect federal property from terrorists and thugs and so on and so forth, I don't care where they are. If they don't like that idea, let me come by their house and burn them, because maybe somebody, or I'll send somebody to burn their house down because somebody don't agree with what they're saying. How's that sound?
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you.
I'll send somebody to burn their house down because somebody don't agree with what they're saying.
Oh, no. Okay. That's
We
it.
lost you, Norm.
Oh, we lost Norm. I love Norm. Hey, Norm, thanks, man. Look, for someone who caught the tail end, I don't think you missed a beat, Norm. Don't think you missed a beat. Good. I see where he was making a point. I get it. I
but
get it.
harken back to what Renee was saying earlier, like in St. Martinville, you don't need the National Guard to come into St. Martinville to fix the problems. You need to just elect better people. I mean, if that's the issue.
You're right. I want to wrap this hour up, though. I got it. It's inside of me, because we can argue that. We can argue practicality.
Get it out you.
All this. No, but we have to draw the line as conservatives. And it's important that we stay true to our values. Even if the guy that we voted for, me included, okay, happily went in there and voted for him. Happily. Many of you did too, probably. But we have to stay true to ourselves and our beliefs, because that outlasts administrations. It can if we stay consistent. It will die if we don't. Because we don't get to say, we're constitutional conservatives one day, and then the next day hand more power to Washington because it feels good politically. You can't rail against federal overreach on one issue. Okay? You can't just go rail off on them on that, then cheer it when it props you up politically. That's inconsistent. It's hypocritical. And Governor, let me ask, my dear friend, what else do you want the federal government to do for you? Do you want Washington to pave your roads? I mean, how's that going? That's the model you're starting. Matter of fact, the model Jeff Landry's pushing on law enforcement is the same model with the federal government paving roads. How's it going, guys? How's I-49 connector looking to you? How long did it take the I-10 bridge in Lake Charles? What about that I-10 bridge in Baton Rouge? Isn't that the federal interstate? So Governor, you're asking the federal government to treat law enforcement like they do the roads. But let's keep going, though. What else? What about drainage? How's that going? We had to fight the damn federal government to do common sense things that they already approved. Like, really? What about that? That's the law enforcement? That's the model?
What are they going to do? So you bring in these 1,000 national, so are they going to stay forever? Like, what are you going to do?
Oh, that's a whole other thing.
Like, what happens after?
But conservatives, every time we let D.C. run Louisiana projects, we end up with delays, cost overruns, and half-finished promises. You've seen it. The same principle applies here. Hey, look, when you form out your state's core responsibilities to Washington, we just don't get efficiency. Washington and efficiency is not synonymous. You dang sure don't get accountability. You get bureaucracy. You get red tape. And somebody else calling the shots, someone that's far, far away from you. And you lose the very thing conservatives are supposed to protect: local control. Now let's cut through the catchphrases. Louisiana lockup. That's just it's like cute branding. Law and order are back. Great line. But here's the test. Does it actually reflect conservative governance? Or is it just words? Because true conservatism is not about slogans. It's about applying the principles of the Constitution that you claim to love consistently, even when it's inconvenient. Even when it would be easier to grab that federal crutch, you have to stay disciplined, because being disciplined to that philosophy is what made our country great, and it's the only path forward to having a better future. This is deep, guys. Don't let one man's political ambition screw up the rest of the country. It's even bigger than Louisiana. This is precedent. Come on now, conservatives, let's go. All right, guys, stick around. We'll be right back. Ooh, I can't wait. afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to hour number 2 of the Josh Guillory Show. I remain your grateful host, and in studio with me still, my main man, Jamie Angel.
Here I am, y'all. Here I am. Here I am.
We are broadcasting live from the KPEL studios here in Lafayette, Louisiana. Also broadcasting live on Rumble. Thanks, guys, for sticking around through that break. We certainly appreciate you. Love that chat, man. Our trucker terrors out there. Let's see. Forrest Greenstar.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Joe Biden's lost memory. C. Vassier. Kill Switch Don. I said that. There's a couple other on there. I'm squinting.
Let's see.
Just really appreciate you guys. And if I didn't list you, I'm so sorry.
And if you're not on there, go check us out on Rumble. Rumble.com is free.
That's where I'm telling you, man, this is going to be fun. We're only going to grow that more and more and more and more and have more features. So, got to take care of our folks. Got to make sure our folks have all the information. See what I'm saying?
I understand.
Hey,
Make sure you're telling the truth.
yeah, maybe if that office listened more.
Hey, good news.
Actually, no. If that office would just go look at the campaign commercials, specifically from previous campaigns.
Go read your website, bud. Go read your campaign website.
That's a good one.
I read it the other day.
Did
Said a whole bunch of nice stuff
Bet
that
you
I'm
did.
still waiting for. Hey, guess what? My insurance is still over $600 a month. That's just my automobile insurance.
But it's coming down.
No, has not come down.
All right, so we're going to stick on this topic here. So talking about Governor Jeff Landry, he's requesting President Trump to activate the National Guard. Well, the Louisiana governor's asking who is the commander-in-chief of the Louisiana National Guard, is asking the president to activate his own National Guard. Now, the smoke screen will be, that's because of federal dollars. Okay, well then, all right, so we're just going to willy-nilly? That's cool. Oh, it's federal. Hey, guys, don't worry. It's federal dollars.
Wait, do we not pay federal taxes?
Like, hello?
It's dumb.
Oh, don't worry. It's federal tax dollars.
Who cares? You're wasting money.
Exactly. And number 2, by his own admission, crime is getting better. See, this is the thing that I'm telling you, these political elites think we're dumb.
No, I think he might be. Seriously. No. You're telling me he's been governor going on 2 years now, and he let crime get so bad he's got to activate the guard? Now, come on. It's embarrassing.
That's what I'm saying. He's at a pivotal crossroad politically, because think about it. You're either admitting that you have let crime go to heck in a handbasket, so you need help from Big Brother. Something you like, don't drink the poison.
He been poisoned.
Don't drink the poison. They candy coat that poison. It feels good. It tastes good. Lick the lollipop. It tastes good.
Make me feel good.
Until it's not. Until it's not. Until your guy's not in charge. I don't know. I thought, anyway. Anywho, man, I don't get it. I'm just saying us conservatives must be consistent here. I mean, the same principles of conservatism that we've been discussing apply here. When you form out your state's core responsibilities to Washington, I said it earlier, you don't get efficiency. You get all the bureaucracy that goes with it. You know? And I'm just saying, I'm done with all those catchphrases, and I don't say any of this to score cheap points. I don't want to be reporting on this. I got to know Jeff Landry well when I was in office, and we worked so well together, and I loved working with him. I really did. And during COVID, man, like, he was my fellow conservative battle buddy. I loved that. I needed it. He was the only one. He was the only one.
Big Mama said, I hear Landry speak, but I hear Edwin Edwards coming out of his mouth.
He ain't kidding.
I mean,
actions too. But I don't take any pride. I don't take any joy in saying, hey guys, the state that I love, the community that I love, the guy that I love voting for every time. Like, I don't get any, like, I can't stand it. I don't like coming up here being critical of my fellow Republicans. But I owe that honesty to you. I owe that duty of honesty to you. I really do. And just like when I was in office, when you speak the truth, yeah, you know, the elites and the powers that be, they don't like that. And sometimes they have power, sometimes they don't. But regardless, I'm going to continue to speak the truth. So if one of my fellow Republicans is not acting like a Republican, what do you want me to do? Now, I'm going to try to present it like I did today. I'm going to try to present it in a way that just, you know, stays objective and says why I disagree. But I can't help if I get a little passionate because this stuff is aggravating. I mean, think about
some passion.
Passion. Oh, but look, you know, I just, don't you think people thirst for honesty?
I think that's why they voted for Jeff Landry in the first place. You hit on a good point. Like, we don't want to be talking about this, but more so, it's so devastating when you vote for someone that you have so much faith in. You just know this is going to be the guy that is going to bring effective change.
Yeah.
And what has he done since he has become governor that has made our lives better? Name one thing.
And fair question, man. And I'm glad. And look, fair to ask all that. I'm choosing right now because everybody else is hitting on that. Everybody, the folks can go out there and get a whole bunch of stuff. People discussing that.
Worse off now.
No, and it's a conversation that should be had. I am talking only to conservatives right now, and to folks that are open-minded to going back to the principles of our founders. If you're interested in that kind of thing, then this is who I'm talking to, because no one else is talking to you. Not that I see. No one. Everybody's just griping and stuff like that, but no one's talking to the conservative. No one's talking to the conservative. I mean, look, if there's an imminent crisis, God forbid, a terror attack, or even a full-blown out invasion, yes, President can and should step in. Come on, he's the federal commander-in-chief. If a state refuses to address real chaos, real and objectively imminent, okay, chaos, then yes, the federal government has a constitutional role and maybe even a duty. But that's not this. What's happening here, what we're saying, what we're talking about, 100% politics. A governor trying to flex his conservative credentials by outsourcing his job to Washington. And that, my dear conservatives, is dangerous. I'm going to go a little longer. Because it conditions people to think Washington is the savior for everything. Listen to me on that. This type of behavior from our governor conditions the people. You want to talk about conditions the people to think Washington can solve all of our problems and there's nothing further than the truth. So that's why I'm fired up. But I'm also calm about it because I know the Constitution is still the answer. I know our founders were right. And I know real conservatism, limited government, local control, accountability, that is still the only path that works. So us conservatives, if that's what you want to identify as, okay, or whatever, call yourself, whatever that means these days. But I know there's a healthy dose of Americans, and maybe even Americans registered as Democrats right now that believe in what I just said and what you believe. We got to hold on to that truth. Okay, these politicians come and go, but every ounce, every inch we give up, we never get back. All right, stick around, guys. We'll be right back. We're going to switch topics, but I might have a similar theme. But let's talk about the FBI. You want to talk about the FBI?
Let's talk about
the FBI. All right, guys. Welcome back to the Josh Guillory Show. We're broadcasting live from the KPEL studios here in Acadiana, that's Southwest Louisiana. For you folks outside of our great state, I guess you could argue it's South Louisiana. We forget about those eastern parishes of Acadiana sometimes. I don't forget about it.
Who forgets about it?
I'm just saying, some folks,
Hey, Iberville.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
Hey, St. Mary.
Oh, absolutely. Highway
Ascension.
Sad. You want to talk about sad before we get into the FBI? So, guys, go drive down Highway 90 from Lafayette southeast. It's sad. Go actually go just past Broussard. Like in between the exits to St. Martinville and New Iberia, that area. Go from there all the way past Morgan City.
To Houma.
Go all the way there. It's sad. What was once thriving, thriving, specifically oil and gas service-related industries. There's still some out there. There's still some.
Not what it used to be.
And no offense to my trial lawyers, okay? Seriously, I mean no offense. Hey, look, there's a role for everybody. There's a place for everybody. But it's noticeable that these companies have been replaced with a lot of billboards.
A lot of billboards.
And when we sit here as fellow conservatives to many of you, as fellow Americans to others, I just don't understand how we can have a not just supermajority House and Senate, but a constitutional conservative governor, his own words, and an absolute, no doubt, supermajority of citizens who are conservative. Some register as a Democrat, absolutely, but conservative philosophy and mindset, family, community, local control, local government, Washington, stay out of our business. We're not getting that. We're not getting that. We're not seeing taxes lowered. And that's across the board. Lafayette Parish, taxes raised. Don't even know. Why aren't we doing anything at the state to lower that? Okay, so I think the folks would understand. I think the folks would understand if you laid out a plan, 5-10-year plan to lower insurance and be honest with us that it's not going to be an overnight fix. I think we would understand if you lowered our taxes. Offset it. How come we always have to make the cuts? How come government doesn't make the cuts? Man, I know this is going to sound silly. Being the mayor president of Lafayette was the easiest job I ever had. I'm sorry, guys. It was the easiest job. I mean, I worked at Foot Locker. It was harder working at Foot Locker than it was being the mayor president of Lafayette. Now, I'm not saying because of the effort we put in, there was definitely stress. There was more stress than I had in other jobs. But as far as the gig, like, man, I just spent 90% of my time saying no to the bureaucrats and finding ways to say yes to the people. And when you do that and you limit government to only its function, it's amazing how much money you have. Look at Lafayette. Lafayette right now has $100 million more than when we got out of office. What are you doing with it? Where are we at? Well, we got a Democrat in charge. Look, that's cool. Different philosophies, but be honest. The state, lower our burden, lower our bottom line. You can do it. You have a super majority. You have a super majority. Don't tell me about, I'm a fiscal conservative. Lower our taxes and shrink government. Be quiet. Blow up DOTD, figuratively speaking. I'm not calling for violence. But dismantle it. I know firsthand the bloat. And I know firsthand how easy it is for a local community, if the leaders want it, to just focus on a few things and do those right. Get that right before you start doing all this other stuff. Everything's a priority, none's a priority. In the state of Louisiana, dismantle DOTD, make it a fraction of what it is right now. You need it still. You absolutely need DOTD. You work with local municipalities across our great state. You work on on road donations to the local governments. Give them a commitment. That means you donate the state roads to the local government. You give the local governments enough capital dollars, one-time capital dollars, instead of spending money every year needlessly, just recurring, turn the light switch off, turn the faucet on. No, you build it up one-time capital dollars to get that road to standard. You ensure that the local government can maintain it for its folks, so you're not just handing over disaster. Any of this sound hard? Does any of this sound hard? This is how it works. The politicians and bureaucrats will try to tell you how difficult this is. I think the bureaucrats have it over on the politicians, most of them, but that's just me. Not all. But this is not a hard process. If we wanted to run the state of Louisiana like a conservative state, we would. But, oh, no. We want to be Huey P. Long. We want to keep those roads centralized. How's that going? I mean, honestly, John Bel Edwards might have been a more conservative on DOTD. I mean, they were giving state roads to local governments. I mean, I'm sure the current administration is doing that too. But do more of it. Like, we expect that. I mean, okay, don't brag to me that you're doing what John Bel Edwards was doing. Do more.
I actually saw more road work being done where I live when John Bel Edwards was, and it was carryover. But I'm not saying he's not doing anything, but it's not evident. And the things that he is doing is really casting a shadow on all the possible good things he might be doing.
And see what you're saying right there. Most hosts would be talking about that, and most people resonate with that. I am purely, again, talking to my conservative base, because this is a moment where we have to stand our ground. If we give willy-nilly, if we give Washington this much control, or any control over anything that you don't have to, nothing good comes from that in the long run. Yeah, sure. And another thing, Governor, what is conservative about proactively wanting military troops to patrol your streets? What? Hey, there's nothing that screams freedom like an M4 in my face. Come on, man.
He's been more successful at wrangling wild animals for stunts. For example, bringing turkeys on the Moon Griffon show and, hiring out a tiger for the LSU game, which was completely unnecessary. What are your priorities, Jeff? What are your, you go on these turkey hunts, you host these alligator thing, you come to the camp, come to the duck camp, we're going to talk. When y'all get to the duck camp, what the heck y'all talking about? It can't be the betterment of the state. We're too late down the road with this guy to even think he could pave the roads in gold at this point, and I still wouldn't have any faith in his ability to be the governor.
Man, okay, fair points. A lot of folks are going to... No. A lot of folks are going to agree. And like I said, most hosts would probably jump all over that. I'm just telling you guys, I'm not trying to be dramatic. I'm not trying to be dramatic here, but I am speaking truth. And very slippery slope. 15 to 20,000 law enforcement officers. How many more do you want?
1,000.
1,000, apparently 1,000. Okay, so you want 1,000. Cool. You're saying that you want 1,000 military personnel I'm having a hard time saying I've said this at least 4 times. This is the 5th time I can't get it out my mouth, out my mouth. So I'm gonna move on. I'm gonna move on. That horse is beaten. Poor horse.
It's dead.
Poor horse. And I'm a cavalryman.
Oh no, he killed a horse.
Fox News. Let's switch gears. Prakash Patel, J6, and the FBI. Let's talk about it. We're switching gears, but there's going to be some overlap in philosophy. What's that score up there, buddy?
3-1, top of the 9th. If they get one,
come on, Cubbies.
2 more outs, it's
come on,
over.
Guys.
2 more outs, it's over.
Sing the song. Sing the song.
I don't
Okay.
know.
All right. Cash Patel, J6, and FBI. That's what my notes say. All right. This is a report from Fox News. Bree Stimson.
Before you get started, you
what?
want to go to break
Okay,
early and
yes,
we can come back?
I'll tease it, though. Yeah, you can get us out there. I'll tease it, though. Join us back. Cash Patel says there's a little more involvement from the FBI in January 6, 2021. Well, we'll talk about that and so much more when we get back. Stick around. Welcome back to the Josh Guillory Show. We're broadcasting live from the KPEL studios here in Lafayette, Louisiana. Also broadcasting live on Rumble. Let me see over there at rumble.com. Look up the Josh Guillory Show. Let's see here. LSU and V777. Trump said use the soldiers for, oh yeah. For
LSU Andy 777.
Oh, yeah. I can't see.
Yeah, it's not scroll down.
Soldiers for, yeah. Trump said use the soldiers for military training purposes. I think he'll talk to his inner circle and come up with a different conclusion after that.
That's so off.
I don't blame my boy Trump.
Oh.
I'm serious. I don't blame. The man's 80 years old, 81 years old. He's been very successful. He's stuck in his ways. That dude is just a fixer. He's just a doer. You got to know who you're dealing with.
But we don't train against our own people. Come on.
No, and we don't use guys, we got to get out of this, use the military for police. Come on. Stop that. Let the locals police the locals, man. We won, Cubbies. Sing the song, baby. Go Cubs, go.
I don't know what song you're talking
Go Cubs, go.
Oh, yeah,
All
I
right.
don't know that.
So let's go to this story from Fox News. We're going to open up the phone lines later on. Bree Stimson, she's reporting that FBI Director Kash Patel is now clarifying what really happened on January 6th. I'm going to say this is according to Kash Patel. I don't trust anybody in Washington right now.
I don't trust the FBI.
I don't trust the FBI. I trust Trump because he's an open book. Yeah, he'll say something. He'll retract it.
Yeah, but the FBI is they're a book of lies. Is what
They're
they
just
are.
waiting till this guy gets out.
Just wait till our next Charlie Kirk episode.
Man. Yeah, man. Dude. All right, so Bree Stimson, she's reporting Kash Patel now clarifying in his words what really happened. He says that 274 plainclothes FBI agents were at the Capitol on January 6, 2021, J6. Not before the riot, as they described the riot, and it was a riot, but once it was declared a riot, and that Christopher Wray, that's the former director of the FBI, Kash Patel says he lied to Congress when he testified about it. Patel says agents were ordered to do crowd control, even though that's not their job. And President Trump is calling exactly what it is, a massive cover-up by Wray and the corrupt old FBI leadership. This is what he's saying.
It's kind of like sending the National Guard in to do some police work. That's not their role.
Yeah. We're going to have some ties. We're going to have some overlaps. So let's go to a few little facts here. Again, 274 FBI agents. They were actually present there. Now, that's going to be important. That's an important fact. It's an important fact, especially when we talk about some folks' statements. So these guys are they're brought in for crowd control, even though that's not the function of the FBI. Wray, the former director, testified over and over again that no FBI sources, I remember us talking about that, no FBI sources, what does that mean? Or agents were orchestrating anything. That's what he said. He deflected and lied. The inspector general later admitted there were at least 26 informants, but only 3 directly from the FBI. Kash Patel clearly says more. President Trump has since pardoned every American prosecutor for January 6th, or almost every American, right? Or did he every single one?
I don't know. I don't want to answer. I don't know.
You cool. So Patel says this proves Wray misled Congress and the American people. Well, if you don't believe Kash Patel, the Inspector General, that office's statements shows that the former FBI director lied to Congress. Either one. So here's the deal. I'll give you my opinion, and I'm not saying this of any specific FBI agent. Okay, genuinely. Now I'm sure there are plenty of them that are individually corrupt and power hungry and cubicle warrior and the good idea fairies like their best friend and just plucking them on the forehead. But the FBI as an institution, has been corrupt from its inception, from its founding. I mean, think about this. From Hoover's blackmail files to targeting Martin Luther King to spying on parents at school board meetings, the culture has always been about controlling people, about controlling Americans, not protecting liberty. It is the opposite of liberty, if you really think about it. And let's be honest, it's unconstitutional. The FBI is unconstitutional as it's being used today. The Constitution never authorizes a federal police force. Nowhere. The 10th Amendment makes it crystal clear. Powers not delegated to the federal government are reserved to the states or the people. Police power is state power. Police power means that states can do, in this context, states can do anything they want. Anything they want, as long as it doesn't violate the federal Constitution. The federal government's the opposite. The federal government can only act within the power that the federal Constitution authorizes it to act on. That's different. That's complete polar opposite. Police power belongs to the states, not the federal government. The federal government's a government of limited powers. We just rattled off why. The FBI exists because Congress created it out of thin air in 1908, and not because the Constitution allowed it. I mean, that's the problem. Give Washington an inch, and it builds an army of bureaucrats who trample civil liberties, and you know I'm saying the truth. Look what they did here. Kash Patel says 274 agents just wandering around in plain clothes at the Capitol. If a state police force tried to play those games without legislative approval, how'd that go? People would be fired. But the FBI, they just lie, cover up, move on. It's in the sake of liberty, freedom.
Oh, no.
And Americans pay the price. Bottom line here, we do not need a federal police force. We don't need D.C. deciding how to handle crowd control in Louisiana, in Texas, anywhere, even California. Well, we might need it there.
Just send Martha Jean.
But yeah.
She can control a crowd.
But think about this. That's why we have sheriffs. That's why we have National Guards, Governor. It's your National Guard. And elected officials locally and statewide, okay, to be accountable to the folks, to the people. The FBI answers to no one. Think about it. That's why it lies. That's why it spies. And that's why it abuses. Until it's dismantled or stripped to the bone, stories like this will keep coming. Because when government builds a police force outside the Constitution, that police force, it will eventually turn against the people, and it already has. Just because you do a little bit of good doesn't make you, doesn't forgive your bad. Okay? Not saying any individuals, but this is an evil agency. Start over if you must have a federal police force. But limit it to federal issues. Can we do that? And can you stop spying on us without constitutional protections? Jeez. Oh, but we do. We get a warrant. You lie on those too. You lie on those too. All right, let's go. Chris in the Barry. What's up, Chris?
Hey, what's going on, guys?
What's happening?
I struggle with the logistics of it. Don't get me wrong. I struggle with a couple of things he said earlier today about Landry wants to do it, but he's waiting for the government to pay for it because you don't want to pay for it. And secondly,
spoken like a Democrat.
You're going to pull these guys out of their jobs to come do this for how long at a lower pay rate than they're making at their jobs?
True. Oh, it's going to be volunteer.
And on that, and plus, you get ready to do a government shutdown. So where's that money coming from?
Yeah, Chris, for real. I didn't think about that. Yeah.
Yes. So logistically, I don't see it happening right now. I just don't.
Look, for the sake of constitutional mindsets, for the sake of a democratic republic that we are, in the sake of maintaining state sovereignty, which is actually guaranteed in our Constitution until we keep giving it away. Like, conservatives, what is happening? I mean, we know, but it keeps happening to us. We keep electing these folks. I mean, if we,
It's like the Twilight Zone. Seriously.
We wanted policies like John Bel Edwards, we should just elected Sean Wilson. At least there would have been, at least there would have been a continuity of government.
Yeah.
Maybe they're slowing it down. But, I've been giving, legislature, been giving you a little pass.
You really have.
I really have. Y'all could act too, You could voice your thoughts at minimum. You could even do a resolution. I bet you that would actually do something. Resolutions do nothing usually, but I think that one would actually do something.
I can kind of...
And watch this. I'm going to write it for him. We, the House and the Senate of the great state of Louisiana, have recognized that we are conservative. And conservatives do not ask the federal government to do local and state functions. Therefore, and we'll make it nice. And we're hearing rumblings that this may be coming out of states such as ours. We just want everyone to know that we disagree with that action. There you go. How sweet was that?
It was perfect.
That was nice. It was professional, and at least what at least does. It at least tells the people of Louisiana, hey, we're heard. Like the people that we elect to represent us actually represented our voice. Hey, the resolution may not go anywhere. I don't know.
I'll say this for the legislators. In the beginning of this term, this administration, I can understand toeing the line. I can understand because the governor did have enormous amounts of power coming in. I mean, he won in the primary. That's power. That's a lot. So come in. I can see how these legislators thought that they need to go along with his plan and move forward. And under the threat of, if you don't, you're going to be punished, which he has already made clear. You can ask a local state senator who's going through that.
That's that old school Louisiana mafia type, political mafia mindset.
Yeah, but we're at a point now where he has lost credibility. He's lost power. If he still has it, it's because weak folks are giving it to him.
He has lost credibility with conservatives that are paying attention.
And you would think the legislature, being the guy, 1/3 of the government, would pay attention.
And the part that can actually limit, man, this is crazy that we're having to say this. We're gonna have to I don't even have time to explain because it's about to be the 6th time that I've explained. I don't understand. We elect these conservatives and they don't act like. All right, guys, stick around. When we get back, I promise. We're going straight to the phones. I appreciate your patience. Welcome back to the Josh Guillory Show, broadcasting live from the KPEL studios here in Lafayette, Louisiana. We're also broadcasting live on Rumble, rumble.com. Check us out over there. Follow us on the Josh Guillory Show. Let's go straight to the phone line, shall we? Who we going to first? Renee, thanks for your patience. Renee, round two, what you got, buddy?
Yeah, I mean, flexible people survive flexibly in history. That goes with government. You can't be absolute on anything. Yeah, I know you want states' rights and you like the Constitution, but if you are too much a gatekeeper for that and an emergency comes and you're worried about fumbling while the emergency happens and don't respond to it on time by having a task force or react force or a situation or the resources to handle it right away, it's going to be too late.
Okay.
You know, a reactionary force is okay for the military. They shouldn't be there all the time. The police, you know, maybe money, you know, the government. It shouldn't be absolute, because when you get absolute, you get destroyed, like the Mayans dealing with the Spaniards, you know?
All right. So, Renee, let me ask you this. If you were the governor, all right, pretend you're the governor right now, and you want to go fight crime. You got 15 to 20,000 law enforcement officers available to you. You even have your own National Guard if you want to create that quick reactionary force. Why don't you just go do it? Why do you need the federal government to do it?
I know it make me look good. It's my resources, but if I'm tempted by having federal money and then saving my money and use my money on top of that,
you don't need to use any of it.
Look good if I use my own resources.
I hear you. Hey, look, fair points, Renee. Fair points. But man, you can't sell our conservative values. I'm just saying, no one is really. Well, we're kind of disagreeing because we don't think we should be using troops when we don't need them. Not for that. I'm gonna stick with that. I'm sorry. That's un-American to have a sustained military in your front yard and backyard. No, sorry.
We got some breaking news.
Yo.
We got a statement from the National Guard about it.
Louisiana National Guard?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm sure.
Says the LANG is a home team made up of Louisiana sons and daughters. We will carry out our duties with honor and treat all with dignity and respect.
Yes. Now let's pretend that was issued by General Waddell under Governor Edwards. Okay. Now let's say that happened. What would you be saying? What the heck are they about to do? What are you talking about? That's what we would be saying, rightfully so.
Military state.
So let's go a little step further. Again, don't think it's unheard of for Louisiana to elect a Democrat. We've done it quite often. So our last one was a Democrat, and he was under a Democrat president. Us conservatives don't. If you really want to subscribe to, well, it's federal dollars. You pay that too, by the way. But it's federal dollars. That makes it good. Oh, it's just federal dollars? Oh, I didn't know that. Well, if it's just federal dollars, yeah. Yeah, make it rain, baby. You know? No, you don't sell out. You don't sell out your state's rights. You don't. Not when you can accomplish the same goal. But you don't say, I'm going to sell out my conservative values because it's a federal paycheck. No. Governor, if you want a quick reactionary force, go for it. No one's saying don't.
Troop NOLA.
Yeah, you have that. And that was a great move. Troop NOLA. When he created Troop NOLA, that was awesome. That was a great decision.
Like, redirect your resources to where you need them the most. It's simple.
But again, my fellow conservatives, we're the last line. We're the last line holding on to our constitutional freedoms. We really are. We really are. If we allow our governor to just do this when it's not needed, number one, and do this, what I mean by this is invite the federal government to do local, this ain't even state issues. It's local issues. But hey, whatever. You want to be big brother, be big brother. But like, really?
Let's squeeze in one more.
All right,
Let's go back to JP.
JP, what you got?
Guys, y'all realize we're asking for common sense from a man.
Yeah.
From a man who believes that we should be sucking vacuuming air and blowing it in the ground.
Money into that, man.
I mean, we're getting rid of carbon. Somebody tell Jeff that he's a carbon-based a carbon-based life form, maybe he'll put himself in the vacuum and blow himself in.
Whoa.
Oxygen thief.
Whoa. JP, thank you. Man, all our guys and gals out there on hold, I appreciate you. I see you. All of you guys. Sorry, we're running out of time. Hey, guys, thank y'all for tuning in, man. I don't like days when we have to beat up on our own, but my goodness, we're not beating up on anybody, but we are preserving our constitutional freedoms.
Just spilling truth.
Yeah, absolutely. So, look, when you're having these discussions, man, now hopefully we're armed with a lot more, more things to think about. I love the outcome, law and order. I just want to do it in a way that our founders thought was a good idea, and get federal government, big brother out of our way. Anyway, all right, guys, thank you so much for tuning in.